Good morning, church, and welcome to the musing for the 2nd of February. My name's Dave, and I'm part of the volunteer staff at Community Christian Church at Carillon. In the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, we read a story, two stories in fact, of a man named Elijah. Now, Elijah was a prophet of God. He was not a Levite, he was not a priest, he didn't come from a notable family. In fact, Elijah just pretty much shows up with no history, no backstory. His name in Hebrew means, "My God is Yahweh." And in that time and place, who your God was, well, that mattered. Ancient gods were connected with the land itself. Therefore, they were connected with your crops and your weather and your very survival. If your God wasn't powerful enough or didn't provide, you didn't eat. And in chapter 18, the land of Israel was in a prolonged period of drought. The people were worried. They were, in fact, desperate. And they were hedging their bets. They were worshiping God, but they were also worshiping Baal. Now, Baal was a fertility god of the Canaanites. It was the god of rain and good harvests. The pagans of the area believed that, well, if it didn't rain, then Baal was displeased in some way. The Israelites figured they should add Baal to their worship, just in case. Well, this is where Elijah comes into this story. He starts by berating the Israelites for playing both sides. And he presents a challenge. He tells the king to gather all the 450 priests of Baal, along with the 400 priests of Asherah, who was another Canaanite goddess, and have them all meet him at Mount Carmel, where they would settle this thing once and for all. After they had gathered, Elijah said, "Let's each slaughter a bull, cut it into pieces, and place it on the wood of the altar, but do not light the fire. Then you call on your God, and I'll call on mine, and the one who answers with fire, well, he's God." Well, once everything was ready on their side, the priests of Baal began to dance and chant, calling upon Baal. Hours of dancing and chanting all morning long, nothing. Then Elijah started to mock them. And worse, he mocked their God. He gets downright insulting and vulgar. "Cry louder," he said. "Maybe Baal is deep in thought or sleeping. Perhaps he's out of town," Elijah said. "Or maybe he's on the toilet." That couldn't have gone over well with the priests of Baal. But still nothing. The priests of Baal started cutting themselves until the blood gushed to show their sincerity. No answer, no fire. Then Elijah called the people near, and after he rebuilt the altar of the Lord, he dug a trench around it. Then he piled on the wood, and he laid the cut-up bull on top. Then, rather oddly, he called for 4 large jars of water to be poured over the whole thing, soaking the offering and the wood. Then he had the jars refilled and emptied on the pile again. And a third time. By now, the ground around the altar was soaked. The trench was full of water. Then Elijah quietly asked God to show his power to the people. And immediately fire fell from heaven. The bull was burned up. The wood was burned up. The stone altar was burned up. The ground itself smoked, and the water all boiled away. And Israel, at least those who were present, turned back to the Lord. And then Elijah ran away. He fled into the wilderness. His actions had angered the king and queen of Israel, who worshipped Baal, and they swore to kill him. And all this happens in the same chapter. Right after this moment of great triumph, Elijah sinks to his lowest moment. Glory turned into despair. After all that the people had just seen, the powers that be want him dead. That's their way of dealing with it. And something in Elijah breaks. He's tired. He's worn out, used up. He wants to give up. And he goes off by himself. But not entirely by himself. The same Lord who had been with him at Mount Carmel was with him there in the wilderness. He feeds Elijah, lets him sleep for a while, feeds him again, and then the Lord speaks to him, but not in fire this time, in a whisper, not with raw power, but with quiet compassion. The Lord didn't lecture Elijah. He comforted him and restored him. Brothers and sisters, are you tired? Are you lonely, hopeless, ready to give up, wondering if your faithfulness even matters? Friends, your efforts are noted. Your faithfulness does matter. And the Lord still speaks to you, to me, sometimes loudly perhaps, oftentimes softly, and always lovingly. Learn to hear his voice, whatever your circumstances. And may God bless you all.